These are real questions that we've had sent to us.
God.
Is an assistant director the person that assists the director on set?
You guys are just triggering me.
You can make a living on directing alone.
No. Even if you're the best director on the planet. Most cinematographers that you talk to don't want to be a director.
Hey, what is going on, Indy Mogul? My name is Ted. Today I'm here with Mike Pecci, agency rep director, and also filmmaker behind In Love with the Process, which is a podcast about filmmaking online. And today we're going to be talking about some of the most common myths about filmmaking. Now, the myths that we have are actually in this cup, and they are not just about being on set. They're about the entertainment industry as a whole. So we're going to take these out one by one and talk about if they are true, false, or plausible. So, ready to do this?
Let's do it, man.
Let's do this. So we got the C-47. And we're going to pull...
The most expensive piece of equipment.
Yes, of course, absolutely. All right, here we go. Number one.
All right.
A director should know how to do every person's job on set.
I would say you don't necessarily need to, but it's definitely helpful. Everything's about time and planning for time and trying to get the most shots within a day. Understanding how long it takes to put people in wardrobe, understanding how long it takes to get people through the makeup chair, or if you're gonna be that DP that sets up 3 condors, knowing how many guys do that, how long it takes 3 guys just to lift the risers on one of those stands. You're going to get more done in a day.
So for this one, is it true, is it plausible, or is it false?
Plausible.
All right, here we go. Next one. Most of the budget easily goes to camera and lighting.
Yeah, if your movie's gonna suck.
Yes, DPs and lighting, they should get as big of a budget as they can get. Believe me, I feel for you. I want you to have those budgets. But
it doesn't matter how good your camera is. It doesn't matter how good your lights are. If you don't have the stuff in front of that camera that is worth looking at, then why are you shooting it? At the end of the day, we're trying to make stuff visually that people want to stare at.
I have a friend that has a story of he got a budget. He was deciding on how to spend it. And this is pre-Jennifer Lawrence blowing up the way that she did. But he was able to get Jennifer Lawrence in the makeup ad. It took up 90 to 95% of the budget to bring her on. Spent like nothing on camera and lighting.
I mean, they say that with movies all the time. Like, that's why actors still run the industry. Like, I have to get a great piece of talent in my film for you guys to even watch it.
And if you're a DP and you want better stuff on your reel, look at your production design.
Oh.
There's nothing you can do to make it look good if there's bad production design and you're a DP.
Oh, it's a nightmare. And all you can do is shut off lights because there's seams on the walls. I can see all those seams on the walls.
I know people that have actually done this. They actually sacrifice part of their gear package or part of their rate just to make the production design better. All right, so is it true? Is it false? Is it plausible? Most of the budget goes to camera and lighting.
No, it's false.
Hard false. All right, here we go. Next one.
Hard false. You just know that this is going to trigger me.
An indie film has to go to Sundance in order to make it.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm screwed then, huh?
Yep.
Oh, man. The short answer is that's absolute bull. That's false. The longer answer is that there isn't a path that is going to stay consistent for how movies are seen, how movies are bought. There just isn't. The reality of it is that you have to stay up on how people are looking at things, where people are seeing stuff. If you're gonna do film festivals, here's where they're useful. If you're a short film director and you think that you're going to get a film in a film festival and then have a producer from a major production company come and see it, they're not gonna do it. Any of the producers that are coming from production companies are going to see features. It's easier and it's better for them, and you can curate that experience by putting your stuff online and literally getting it to them online, because then you can control that absolute experience for it. But the most important thing, sit with an audience and watch a movie with a bunch of strangers, because all the veils are gone. You know immediately, before anybody says anything, you go, that shot was too long, this thing that I really gave a shit about, no one actually gave a shit about. You just learn those lessons really quick. Great place to do that is film festivals. Another great thing is to meet other filmmakers and other peers and become bros and hang out. Maybe have some barbecues.
I think actually one example I want to say off the bat is last year, Peanut Butter Falcon is an amazing example of a great feature film that came out, got rejected by Sundance. Everybody saw it, and a lot of people credit the producers for being incredible at social media. For an indie feature at South by, for me to see marketing for that is crazy.
And then also realize that when you're making a short film, that shouldn't be the end of your life. Like, you finished it. It's done. put it out there, make your next one. Make your next one.
Hard cuts.
You're going to finish that film. It gets into the festivals, and everybody's going to go, what are you doing next? You can go, I don't know. I've been doing this forever.
So, true, false, plausible.
False.
False. Moving on, here we go. The only way to become a director is to start as a PA.
The only time, anytime you start a statement with the only way, like if you said that about anything.
This is something you've been saying is be a PA, be a PA.
Yeah, but I'm not saying being a PA to become a director. Being a PA is smart. Every movie needs a PA, so it's the easiest way in. You don't have to have any experience. You literally just need to be reliable. And, this is gonna kill you guys, leave your phone in your pocket the whole day. We notice. Even though the DP has his phone out and he's curating his thing when he should be setting up a shot, leave your phone in your pocket.
Because some of you guys have messaged that some people watch this show on set. So if you're watching this show on set, put it in your pocket.
Do you need to be a PA to be a director? No. There's all sorts of different ways in. And sometimes you get in because you're good at writing and that's your thing, and that you're in because you're a writer. And in the television world, that's a big thing. Or you're an actor and you've suddenly leveraged your way into being able to finally direct. So however you can get yourself in there. But when you're in there, you have that knowledge because you've spent that time being a PA.
So PAing, true, false, plausible, is the only way to become a director.
Only way, that word, that is
The
false.
only way.
If that word is in that statement, then it's false.
But it could be a way for sure. All right, here we go. Next one. Cinematographers make bad directors.
Who wrote these? Okay, here's the thing that's really cool about being a cinematographer. You have front row seats to everything, right? Because you're literally second in command. And you get to see the mistakes. And cinematographers interact with actors all the time. And great talent, like experienced talent, knows. They can feel when the light is right on their face. They can feel where the marks are. They can feel that stuff. And they know that their biggest pal is the cinematographer.
I mean, if they're a good DP, they're on set a lot, oftentimes more than the director.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because directors are, they're pushing their project and waiting to be on their next thing. While DPs, they're on set almost every day. They're watching so many different directors make mistakes, try techniques, use tricks from their hat. You're picking up on things the entire time.
The reality of the scenario is that a DP is directing a lot of that movie. It could just be as simple as like lighting or working and talking to the props department and telling the props department where they need to put things or where the things need to go and that the wall needs to come out. When you watch TV, there's a reason why a lot of the cinematographers, you'll see that we're shooting shows, especially the guys that did like Hannibal and stuff like that, they end up becoming directors because they have that relationship with those producers and they've spent all that time.
Too on set, kind of running the
Consistently,
show a little bit.
yeah.
So, cinematographers always make bad directors. Yes, no,
That's
false.
a dumb question.
Just so dumb. So
That's
false.
dumb. Most cinematographers that you talk to don't want to be a director. They get to do all that stuff without having to take the front. Most of them don't want to do it.
Next question. Here we go. Directors have the power to change the framing whenever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I totally agree. Directors can actually change basically whatever they want,
Whatever they want.
except for the schedule.
Films are a visual medium, and that's what they're there for. There's a reason why we tell stories with photos, basically wide shot, close up. We do that sort of thing. Learn the visual language of cinema. Learn what 100+ years of like using a specific lens means, and then make a better movie.
Let's not say ignore your DP.
No.
Work with them.
My cinematographer, I'll say to him like, look, I want to use this bit of language that Steven Spielberg used in the 1980s, where every time someone delivered exposition, they would be walking from left to right, and it would be on a tracking shot. He'll go, oh, rad, okay, cool. He'll pick the specific lenses, he'll pick the gear, he'll pick all that stuff, he'll light that stuff and make it happen. But I'm able to specifically tell him what kind of language I want to set for the film. If you're not paying attention to those things as a director, then you're literally only doing 25% of the job.
Hard yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Here we go. I like this one, actually. You can make a living on directing alone.
I've got friends that will do stuff on an indie level. I've got friends that do stuff like the biggest commercials in the marketplace. What ends up happening on both ends of the spectrum is that you're only hot when you're making something. You're only hot when that's hot. You're always going to be unemployed. And maybe if you get into the TV show realm, you sort of hit that peak where you wanted to be, and you're just consistently directing for television. You're consistently directing for like a medium like that. Sure, but Dude, I'm unemployed after every job. One thing I learned when I was doing commercials and trying to prep movies at the same time, it's impossible. Because it's two different brain sets where you're physically answering stupid questions about client stuff, and then you're trying to develop a world and you're trying to develop what a visual language is, and it's really difficult to make those two things work. So when you get into really hard prepping a movie, and all your movie is prep, and prep will take a year sometimes, 6 months sometimes, that's unpaid. And if you're smart and you have money behind you and you have money in the bank, which you should do, don't get that paycheck and go buy that Lambo. If you're Ridley Scott, you can. And he's not lucky. He's been around for a long time and he's been doing amazing work.
But otherwise, you're juggling a couple other things.
Dude, yeah, I'm a photographer sometimes. I'm an editor sometimes.
So you can make a living as a director, true, false, plausible.
Plausible, maybe.
Plausible.
Plausible's in there because I don't want to say false because that means I'm never gonna make a living.
There are people out there that can. It's just very difficult. All right, here we go. Cinematographers and crew members should never talk to the actors. Some nuance in these. Some nuance.
Okay, how do you navigate that? I would say that the first way to deal with this question is to teach yourself, in one way or another, how to read the room. Do not chime in because you're standing next to an actor that you think is going to be perfect for your short film when they're right in the middle of trying to stay in character. When's the last time you tried to play a knight from like the 1800s? Maybe you're standing there in no pants because that's part of what the scene is, and you need to stay in character while the two grips are over in the corner chewing on brisket from craft services. Being an actor, you realize that you are ultimately the face of this ship. Now, sometimes there's a lot of actors that are really cool people. They like to meet the crew. They have been on the road. They're professionals. Let them lead the situation. Same thing with a cinematographer. You know that these guys have a ton of stress and a ton of stuff going on. Understand that these people are human beings, and they're human beings dealing with a lot of stress.
True, false, plausible. Good cinematographer and crew members should never talk to the actors.
I'm going to lean plausible towards true. I'm just going to say, just don't do it. You don't go over and cold talk to an actor. If an actor talks to you,
sure,
you're in.
Moving on, next one, here we go. Directors only do one rehearsal day before shooting. I think it depends on what kind of shoot we're talking about here, right?
I mean, it just depends on the scene that you're doing. Ridley Scott doesn't like to do rehearsals because he feels that when you're in rehearsal stage, you start to see those things that are really magical and you wish that the cameras were rolling and you can never bring it back. So he doesn't like to do a massive amount of rehearsals. But if you're doing like a big blocking sequence, you got to rehearse the blocking. You got to rehearse what's going to happen. It also depends on the actors, because all actors are different. There are all sorts of different ways to do a scene. There are all sorts of different ways to get into character and stay in character, and whether you're method and whether you're not method. I would love to do movies that are like one-er takes and do like a Birdman thing. And you know that they have to rehearse the hell out of that.
Yeah, that was super carefully rehearsed. It had to have been.
And you still have to rehearse like The Revenant and like dealing with all that stuff. And I think a lot of that is dependent upon the genre movie that you're doing too, because I know with comedy, you get like a Will Ferrell on set, and that dude is like the improv king.
Basically, I think the key is you change it production to production. Depends on the type of shoot too. So true, false, plausible. False. Now, before we move on, I want to remind everybody about today's wonderful sponsor, and that is Storyblocks, who are always there for us when we need B-roll. Usually, we need to find things like city skylines, or puppies, or business people pointing at screens. When we do this, we aren't just limited to picking and choosing one clip at a time, because Storyblocks actually offers a subscription plan for unlimited downloads for something like 790,000 HD and 4K video clips, which, if that's not enough for you, it is enough for you. If you're not sure which puppy you can use, guess what? You can download multiple puppies and then figure it out later. And at just $29 a month, it is an absolute must-have for all kinds of filmmakers. So get started today by going over to storyblocks.com/IndyMogul, which we'll put in the description down below. But now, back to the episode. Last question, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't even want to say this. Like soul hurts. You ready? Mm-hmm. Assistant directors aren't necessary to make a film. I hate this question. What does that even talk about there? It's a hard false.
If you want to know what assistant director does, I did a whole episode on our show on In Love with the Process. You can go there, because a lot of people genuinely do not know what an assistant director does.
For people that don't know, break it down real quick.
If you're on the right production, then all your brain wants to be is dealing with actors, dealing with ideas, dealing with concepts, looking at narrative, and keeping that train running on the track that it needs to be on. What needs to happen is that you need to have your day scheduled out. You need to know that the only way we're going to get through a course of a day is that we have to shoot everything out on this side of the room. We have to shoot out everything on this side of the room. And you need to start scheduling those things by like how many people are needed. Assistant director is the most important part of getting your day done, period. 100%. And it isn't just the assistant director. First assistant, second assistant, his PA team. A lot of the PAs go to work for the assistant director department. These guys are the people that schedule. These guys are the ones that make sure that the gear shows up when it's supposed to show up. And a good assistant director is someone that has a very stern voice that can cut through the set. They are cold, calculating, and quiet at the same time. Because as a director, you're panicky. This isn't happening the way I want it to, and oh my God, I gotta cut these shots, and what happened here, and how's this happening, and what's going on, what's happening. They're there to tell you like, okay, dude, chill, we got this and this and this and this, and you're like, okay, yeah, all right, great. And they're the first ones there, the last ones to leave. They're amazing.
What's the one myth that you're tired of having people say about filmmaking, or the thing that people don't get right about filmmaking?
That directors are geniuses. There aren't geniuses.
It's experts, not geniuses.
Experts. And you learn about it and you learn the craft. And the people that really succeed are the people that have the humility to say that I don't know.
I'm still figuring this out.
And as a young director, you can feel calm in knowing that older crew people will work with you if you're someone that you want to be around and if you admit when you don't know. And they will come to you with lessons and experience. A good director tells a story that is inspiring. You can watch a scene and go, I want to remake that. Or like the lighting in that was so amazing. Or that moment is so amazing. That's so inspiring to me. I need to examine that language that they used to create that response. How you connected with me, how you connected with that actor to get that performance was inspiring.
All right, Mike, for people that want to find you, by the way, where can they find you? You do a podcast as well?
Yeah, I got a podcast called In Love with the Process. InLoveWithTheProcess.com. I curate all the episodes there so you guys can choose all the episodes. If you want to look at episodes from cinematographers, you want to see directors, it's all curated. You check that out. If you want to see any of my movies, you have to write to me on Instagram and tell me your 3 favorite horror films.
And then the sorting hat process begins.
And if I agree with you, then I might send you a link.
Also, a huge thank you to Storyblocks. Don't forget about all the time and money that you can save, just like us, by heading over to storyblocks.com/IndyMogul.
Indy Mogul, thank you so much for watching. I'm Ted, of course. And of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Like I joke with my assistant director, I'm like, what you need to do is design an app. You need to design an assistant director app that just says all the commands like roll camera, cut, speed, but in your voice. And then I could just press that when you're not here, because that's important.